I'm excited to talk about queens. One of the biggest problems that beekeepers experience, I believe, and I think it's probably bigger than mites, and that is queen issues. A lot of queen issues happen, and if you're new to beekeeping, you really don't know exactly what to do when you see swarm cells or you see supersedure cells, or if your queen's not in there, you don't see any eggs anymore, you've been queenless, you got laying workers. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating for someone that doesn't lack a lot of experience in how to keep a hive queen right. Hey, Bill, thanks for your donation. By the way, I know a lot of you will be making donations tonight to the live stream. I always appreciate that so much. I don't mean to not mention you, but sometimes I get caught up in the live stream. But I wanted to say thank you so much for supporting the live stream. Yeah, so queen issues are a big issue. I mean, gosh, and so I'm going to try to talk a little bit about maybe for the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to talk about different things about queens. So, raising your own queen alleviates a lot of the frustration that a lot of beekeepers run into when they have queen issues. Because if you're raising your own queens, you can keep a few queens in a queen bank or some mating nook somewhere, and you can go get them if something happens, right? But it's important in the hive that we always keep a healthy queen, because we need our queen to lay a couple of thousand eggs a day this time of the year in the spring. So if she's below par for that, we're going to have not so much population at all. And sometimes when there's heavy nectar flows, the colony might even kill the queen just to make room for more honey. Hey, Doug, thanks for your donation. So, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think so. You wouldn't think they'd do away with their future. But their idea, I think, my speculation is that they think, hey, we need room for honey or nectar. So let's kill the queen, raise a new one that'll give us 30 days to bring all this nectar in, instead of letting her take up all the room with those eggs. And so some beekeepers report they're honey bound and they can't find their queen anymore. That's not unusual at all in a heavy nectar flow. So remember that the reason why it's beneficial for every beekeeper to learn to raise your own queens is that you want to pick queens that you like, that have your characteristics. And you can do that by raising them out of hives that have these qualities. Good honey producers, they're gentle, they're pest resistant, they don't show signs of pathogens, they always have a good brood pattern, they overwinter well. These are the goal of having a good queen. VSH is good too, if you can work that out. It's hard to work that in. Sometimes you can do it liquid nitrogen tests or odor tests. You can kind of hone in on maybe a queen that has her progeny has less or better ability to resist mites. So that's always the reason that will make your colony very healthy. Sometimes you have to requeen your hive. Now, the reason you want to requeen your hive can be several. Number one, they may get real aggressive on you, and so you have to go in there, kill the mean queen that's producing mean daughters, and then after 24 hours, introduce a new queen. And that way, the next 45 days after the old bees die that are mean, you'll get a better group of bees. So sometimes defensive bees are a big problem. Sometimes your queen just gets old. I mean, if you keep a queen more than 2 or 3 years, that's about all we can get out of a good queen nowadays. I mean, sometimes you can get more years, but it gets riskier after that. And again, we're trying to obtain good characteristics from our queens, and always we're looking for a really good laying pattern. So if we have a poor laying pattern on every single frame, we have a problem. Now, somebody asked me last week a question in the live stream that I answered today in my video that I published today. And they said, how do I know if I look at a poor brood pattern on a frame, how do I know that that frame isn't just full of bees that have just emerged? A very good question, because it can look like spotty brood because you have bees emerging. 2 signs I'll help you with. If you can see some young bees digging their way out of the cappings, if you can note that, well, there's one coming up now. There's another one coming up now. That might be the case. And secondly, always look at other brood frames, because the queen can't fill up every frame in the same day, right? So you're going to have some frames, a couple of frames over, that are aged a little differently that won't be emerging. So if you just see one spotty brood frame and then all the rest of them are solid brood pattern, then you conclude, oh, good, I got a good queen. But if they're all spotty brood, all of them, yeah, there's a problem. So in this case, we have to requeen. The only way to requeen is, as rude as it sounds and crude, you have to kill the queen that isn't doing well, remove her from the hive, don't leave her in there, remove her, take her away, wait, a day, anywhere from 12 to 24 hours, introduce a new queen. And that is how you solve queen issues. Thanks, Robin, for your donation tonight. So when you introduce a queen, remember, you're going to introduce her in a queen cage behind candy. If it comes without candy, put a marshmallow in there. Let them have a slow release and get familiar with that queen. So you have to find that old queen. And if that can be hard to do, especially if you're requeening a very defensive colony. That's a nightmare. And remember, I always say and teach, and I've made videos, walk away with one of the deep hive boxes or brood boxes, 20 yards away, put it on a picnic table or a chair somewhere, take it away from the hive. Just work one box by itself at a time. You'll be surprised how calm they are. And so when you have to, once you find the old queen, you're going to have to remove her. You got to hold on to your old queen. I think it's a good idea just to hold on to her in case the company that you bought the queen from, calls you up and inadvertently says, hey, by the way, we're out of queens. It's going to be a month. And you just killed your queen or something like that. Don't do that. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate your super sticker. So hold your old queen, like one frame of bees with your old mean queen on it, or, failing queen. Hold her in a nuke box for emergency. I know she's not good, but she's better than nothing if you can't get anything, right? Anyway, so don't introduce a new queen without first removing the old queen. Believe it or not, probably one of the top 10 questions I get asked by beekeepers. Can I just introduce the new queen while the old queen is in there? Everybody say it with me. No, you can't do that. The love affair with the old queen is too strong. Even though she's below par, they view your new queen as foreign. The queen mandibular pheromones are not the same, and they'll kill your new queen and you'll waste your money. So you got to make sure you remove the old queen, take her away. Wait 24 hours, introduce a new one. But listen, don't get rid of that older queen, the one you're killing, until you have the new one on the property. It's okay to hold her in a cage for 24 hours. Like if they ship it to you, what is today? Thursday, and you got it today in the mail or something. You can keep it in your house, keep her in your cage while you go out there and take the old queen and move her out or something. And then you just put a little drop of water on her queen cage with her attendants or not attendants, but she'll be fine. And then you can introduce her tomorrow. That really works good. What about the placement of your new queen? There's people love to kind of have debates on the best position. Some people will just seem like that's the most important thing in beekeeping is how you introduce a new queen, and it's not. Believe me, it's not. Don't get caught up in that. If anybody says, oh, you have to do that, you have to do it this way, then no, that's probably not the case at all when it comes to beekeeping. You don't have to do anything, right? If you don't want to. You can install a queen any way you want to, in the super, in the deep, upside down, right side up. Doesn't really matter. Bees are going to get her out of there. But the common thought is that people are fearful that if a queen cage comes with attendants, other bees in there taking care of her, those attendants will die early and they will block the entrance if the entrance is facing down and the queen can't get out. That's not a problem, because bees are really good at tearing each other up, cannibalizing each other, and they'll move whatever's blocking. I mean, they will move those bees out of the way for sure. It does help. I made a video. I did an experiment on all of this. I found that it helps if the queen cage is sideways. The queen seems to walk out a little faster too. So I like to put the queen cage sideways. It's the best of both worlds. Yeah, what we're talking about is the hole in the queen cage. The candy hole, should you face it down or up or sideways? Sideways works good for me. But remember, you have to remove the covering that's covering up the candy. That can be a cork or a cap. Hi, Wayne. Thanks for your super sticker tonight. And once you install that new queen, I like to wait about a week. because you want her to feel safe and secure. They're getting ready. Let this pheromone spread around and let them get familiar to that new queen. Now, I made a video about marking the queen. I have a lot of comments on my YouTube channel recently. Some people are asking just today, why in the world are we putting different color marks on queens? I don't understand why we're doing that. Other people don't know what the color is. Some people are arguing that it's white for 2025. I don't know who started that error, but here's the steps. And the reason that we mark our queens, especially for those of you that are either part of a breeding program, you're wanting to know what the genetics are of certain queens, you want to keep track of those queens, or if you live in Africanized territory where there could be Africanized bees to take over your hive, marking them reassures you that you have a safe queen in there. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate your donation tonight to the live stream. So we put a yellow dot, we put a colored dot on the back of a queen, and it signifies the year. And you can see that each letter of the color in order, WYRGB, white, yellow, red, green, blue, starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the other side. So it's simple. This year it ends in 5. So you just go down this row here and you see that down on the blue one, for years ending in 5 or 0, it's going to be a blue mark. So last year, for example, 2024, it was a green dot. So you see, 2024, we won't have another green one until 2029. Is that right? I think that's correct. I mean, that's a long time. So we're putting a big 5-year gap in there because we know that queens just don't live that long. So it gives us the ability to know what year that queen was born, how old she is. That's why we mark them. So you don't want to go more than 3 years with a queen. So you just use a color coding system. It's an international queen color code. If you don't follow this and you mix your colors up because you want to, you won't go to jail. You're not committing an international crime. Your state inspector will not handcuff you. Nobody cares. Pick your color. Some beekeepers have told me they're colorblind. They have to use a specific color. Okay, fine. I do the same thing. And it's like, oh, I know it's blue, but I got a green pin on me now. All right, you're going to be green this year. I don't really care sometimes, But I do want to tell you that when you go to mark your queen, it's a fun thing to learn. It's a fun thing to learn. Practice on your drones. Remember, drones don't have stingers. And hold the queen higher than the pin so that in case the pin starts to leak, it won't leak down and drown your queen. Always kind of paint them like that. I say that and then I never do it. But you also hold your queen by either her thorax, that's the part between the head and the abdomen, or you can hold her like I do by her back 2 legs on one side so she doesn't spin around. Always test your paint on something, like dab it on a brick or a top cover to make sure it's not flowing out too fast. It's really important to paint to do that. Practice on drones. Get a bunch of drones, pick them up, practice with it. Now, others are experiencing trouble with queens. And before I get into that, I'm watching my clock here. Okay, good. I want to talk about all the problems that we're having with our bees dying last year in the winter, so forth. We're concerned that maybe, is a pathogen, is a virus, what's going on? Why are bees dying worse, and so on. And so I want to swing back around and say, I really think that the number of problems that we're seeing in beehives, especially dying in the winter, I've seen an equal amount of problems that have to do with the queen, which isn't producing enough eggs in the fall or the winter, and the population gets low. They can't heat their hive and they perish from not enough heat in the hive. Mites, people say mites were down. I fed them. I did everything right. I put little coats on them and they were all cozy for winter and they died, and it could be they just didn't have the number of bees to keep warm. And so I'm a really big proponent that you really need to keep bees populated heavily in the wintertime. So that's why I run 2 deeps. Now, some of you love to run a single deep, nucleuses, and get by winter with a small group of bees. More power to you. If that's your thing that turns your crank, I'm happy for you. Do it. Keep doing what works. But for me, what works for me is A lot of bees in the wintertime. So I do think that sometimes if a beekeeper, especially new beekeeper, but sometimes commercial beekeepers, they lose all their queens sometimes and all at once in the fall. I've heard of that. So then they face that issue, and then they go into winter with struggling colonies. And, a backyard beekeeper has 10 hives or something. Commercial guy is going to lose 500 to 1,500, and that hurts. And that's more of a, oh no moment. I get it. Sometimes when you requeen a hive, you find that your hive rejects your queen. Now, that's a big one too. I get a lot of people that say, I introduced a new queen, they rejected her. Usually that's because they've already started raising a virgin queen. You didn't see the queen cell. It was tucked away somewhere and you missed it. They got one in the oven. They don't like you tinkering around with trying to get another one in there, even though you paid good money, even though she proves she's royalty. You bought her from an outstanding company. She's vaccinated. She has VSH potential. She's wearing a golden crown. They'll kill her. They don't care. They got a queen. That's all they want. Sometimes that's what happens. So introducing a queen sometimes in a smaller, nucleus can help, or using a special frame introduction frame like you see in the picture here. You can actually put that. That really fits a bent 3-hole cage really well on the left side, but it can work with a plastic one, Jay's Bees too, but it's a special intro. So if you keep having a lot of problems getting a queen in a hive, what she does, she walks out in that screened area and spreads her pheromones. And meanwhile, the rest of the bees get used to her. But you need to reinspect if you're having trouble, reinspect for cells or virgins or on mating flights or something. Wait about almost 2 weeks and look for eggs before you try to introduce another one. These aren't really hard things to remember, but I know if you're new to beekeeping, it is kind of rough. So the best time to requeen, if your queen dies, you need to add a queen right away. It doesn't matter, right? If you're queenless, add a queen. But if you need to requeen and you're trying to pick a best date because maybe the queen you have is 3 years old, then look at this. I've kind of wrote out here that spring is a good time to introduce a new queen. It really is. Summer, the acceptance is a little bit lower. In fall, it's really difficult to introduce a new queen because they're a little more defensive and kind of irritable. But I think the best time is after the summer solstice, June 20, June 21st. You got plenty of time before winter. It's a good time. The bees are strong from spring, and that's going to be a good time. But I want all of you to take comfort in knowing that you really have to level up your skill in being able to really baby your queen. Monitor their ability to lay good eggs. Keep an eye on them. Make sure that the queen isn't causing issues in your hive, okay? So you need to look at her egg laying ability, look at the capped over brood. How is she doing? Remember, sometimes the characteristics that you're struggling with are queen related. In other words, if that hive keeps swarming a lot, swarming is a characteristic of her genetics sometimes. You got to think about that. If they're very defensive, then that's a characteristic of the queen and her progeny. If they're prone to get European foul brood, if they're prone to get, they're sloppy with controlling mites, if they're, just things like that, it's a good idea to requeen. Get something good in there, get a good queen in there that shows that the hive's doing really good. I really think that if, you hear people say, I've got 2 hives, one's doing great, one isn't doing too good. Usually it's the queen. Not always, but usually it's the queen. Easiest thing to change, cheapest thing to work with. And so be thinking about that. But in order to do that, saving money and controlling it is for you to be able to raise your own queen. I love raising queens. I find it to be so fun and easy and enjoyable. And I'm passionate about it. And nothing's funner for me than raising queens. I love that more than making honey. It's a hoot. So I hope you can take comfort in that tonight. All right. Well, we're down through the teaching time. Thanks for that. And want to go ahead and jump into some questions and answers. Don't forget, we've got Spin the Wheel coming up. We also have a giveaway coming up as well. So don't forget about that. We have a giveaway on Spin the Wheel that's really going to be new tonight. Hey, Candy, thanks for your donation tonight. Appreciate that. All right, hit me with your questions. Hello, David. Should all hives need to be split in the spring? Is a hive that doesn't need to be split a red flag? No, not really. No. Sometimes the bees came out of winter a little bit slim in population, and that's okay. You don't have to make a split. You can just let them keep growing. Keep an eye on them. Make sure they do punch up here pretty soon. Hey, thanks, Lisa, for your kind words and your donation tonight. Appreciate it. Hey, Dean, how does a person check bees with a 40-mile-an-hour wind? Oh, Dean, I hear you. You must live in Illinois. Thanks, Carla, for your super sticker. Today, the winds were 40 miles an hour, and I needed to do a video out there, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Even in the South, I moved them behind that building over there. And so, but the hive I needed to make a video on was in the southern wind. So it kind of delayed me. I couldn't bear to open a hive up in that kind of wind. You just have to wait. It's terrible. I know. Wow. I have a queen that is injured and her laying pattern is bad and she keeps on killing supersedure cells. What should I do? What would you recommend? You have a queen that's injured. You've got really good eyes. How is she injured? Well, anyway, sounds like you just need, let's see. Oh, and she keeps killing supersedure cells. Yeah, you definitely need to get rid of that queen. Replace her. Bees aren't good at keeping an injured queen around. Thanks for your donation, Mara. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. Get rid of any failing queens if they're not doing good. I need to combine a very small queen right colony with a larger queenless colony. I know to use a newspaper method, but my question is, do you provide an upper entrance on the top colony? No, Donna. The best way to do it is, let's see, which one is queen right? Oh, your small one is queen right. Okay. Well, here's the deal. Got to keep the queen right on the bottom. And you're going to add your queenless colony to the top of the queen right one. No entrance for them. That's how you get them to get along. They all have to start using the same entrance. Yeah. The reason why you want to do the younger or the queen right on the bottom is because they're already going in and out and taking care of their brood. Holly, how are you? Did I hear that if a queen has damaged front legs, she will only lay drones? That is correct, Holly, because a queen uses her front legs to measure the size of each cell. And if it's a large cell, that tells her not to fertilize the egg. And then because that drone cells are bigger. And so she'll lay an unfertilized egg. Thank you, Mark, for your super sticker tonight. Appreciate you guys as well. Christy, thank you for donation. Where do you keep extra queens if all your hives are queen right? Bank them in queen banks. As a queen banking frame will hold mated queens above a queen excluder in a double deep hive. That works out well for me. You can also put them in a battery box, and that's the orange strip, and you poke them in a strip of plastic. I use Jay's bees for that, the queen cages. And then I shake in a bunch of nurse bees. Remarkable how well they take care of them. Linda, thoughts on clipping a queen wing to keep from swarming? Just saw a video, wasn't aware that was an option. That's an old-timey thing. You don't really see people doing it much anymore. When I first started selling queens way back, that's how long I've been doing queen rearing. People would have me clip the back wing. And that way the idea is that she can't ever swarm and leave. But in reality, she kind of falls with style out of the hive out in the yard, and it's a mess. So there's much more better ways to swarm control, and clipping a wing is hard on the bees. The veins in the bee wing are not good. So I just don't like the idea of that. And that was argued all the way back in the 1800s, whether that was good or not. Janelle, when you first get a nuke, is it best to put it in just a brood box, or can I put a honey super on right away? I get 2 nukes tomorrow in Southwest Michigan. Okay, listen up on the nuke install. If you're getting a 5-frame nuke, it's best to put them in an 8 or 10-frame deep box, whichever one you're using, 8 or 10 frame. Put the 5 frames in the middle and put the other 5 frames along those sides of the 5 frames. Now, at that time, right now, our nukes are so jam-packed that it's better to add your second deep right away. I made a video showing you how to do that last week or week before. Bait them with the frame. So you're going to put 4 in the bottom, 1 in the top above the 4, and fill it in with all the frames. So you're going to have a total of 20 frames. Hope that makes sense. It sounded easy when I said it, but I hope it wasn't too complicated. But I did make a video on exactly how to do that if you drop back a few videos ago. Hey, Joe, I have a colony that's all of a sudden pretty defensive during inspections. They were not like this last year. Thoughts? Well, everybody gets cranky as they get older. I think I'm a little crankier now that I'm 65 than when I was 35. You know, get off my grass. I don't know. I think the bees know. I mean, it can be that they're, you know, the queen stores the sperm in the spermatheca, and it's all mixed there, and so it can change based on what fertilization is in process from what dad or something. That could be an issue. But usually what happens, a lot of beekeepers get their bees started in the spring with a package, even a nucleus, and then that's the colony gets larger in population and has more stored honey. They have to become more defensive because they have more money in the bank. They have to lock the doors tighter. Could be something like that. Yeah. Or, hey, here's another one. You have skunks. Nothing makes a hive meaner than skunks trying to get in there at night. Scratching, you'll see scratch marks on the front of the hive or on the ground in front of it. They'll take it out on you when you open it up because they've been up all night fighting skunks. Skunks are insectivores. They eat bees. Hey, James, friend of mine had a swarm in his yard that I rehomed last night. I put it in a 10-frame box with new frames. Should I feed them for a couple of days to help them build comb? I live about 45 miles north of me, maybe. Yeah, James, I would definitely feed bees anytime I'm wanting them to draw out foundation on undrawn combs. Although right now we're under such a heavy nectar flow, I would be hard-pressed to feed my bees right now. There's just too much nectar out there. David's spring course is excellent. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. Appreciate that. Brian, good to see you. Thanks for your donation. If I want to split a hive but don't have the land for having the new hive 2 or 3 miles away, I have a third of an acre, would it still be able to do that? Yeah, you can make a split, and it sounds like you might have to move them a little 2 or 3 miles away. You can do that. I've done that many times. I find that if I move hives off my property, I'm a lot less able to go over there and inspect them and take care of them like I do the ones right here, unless I pay somebody to do it. So you might have to think about that. Easier to work bees right under your nose. Hey, Lisa, do I introduce a mated queen to a queenless hive that has one queen cell? What do you do with the queen cell? Do I have to wait a couple of days before adding the new queen? Thank you. I'm going to say, Lisa, in my experience, it really does show me that I'm better off to let them raise their own queen that they've started. They will fight me if they've already started one and I keep trying to introduce one. Let them raise, they're superseding your queen. Let them raise that cell. That's always going to work out better for you. Yep, sure is. Hey, Craig, I pulled a queen cell off today and a queen walked out of it right up my arm. I'm fairly certain she's a day or so early. I caged her and I've been feeding. Will she be viable still? Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. She woke up and she's fine. You're feeding her, taking care of her. She needs to be around some nurse bees to get some royal jelly, though. Yeah, you're fine. That's no problem. That happens to me all the time. I've made videos and it's happened on the video. There's a video I made last year and this year, I think, where I'm playing with queen cells and the queen walks out up my arm like you're talking about. Yeah. Hey, Doug, caught a swarm in a trap a week ago. No eggs, but multiple supersedure cells. Wait, since maybe a virgin queen or add a frame of eggs. I would definitely wait 10 days, see if that virgin queen's getting mated. Come circle back around, Doug, in about 10 days, see how that's going. Yep, absolutely. All right, these are good questions. Jay, hi, Jay. Good to see you tonight. Always appreciate seeing your comments, Jay, on my YouTube videos. You oftentimes tell me about how things are going on in your neck of the woods, temperature, and I always appreciate that. Got crows standing on or near the entrance of the hive. Any suggestion to keep crows away? Are they eating your bees? There's many more birds that are that enjoy eating bees more than crows do. you need a scare. Get it? You need a scarecrow. So you need the scarecrow. If you watch The Wizard of Oz ever, you need a scarecrow out there, and take some metal pans, tie a string on it near your hive. Do something to scare the birds off. Yeah. Wow. I have one A+ queen. I've had 5 queens, B+ at best. When I was in school, I would have died for a B+. Now, how common is it to get less than stellar queens when breeding for new queens? How many queens should you breed to get one really good one? No, I mean, here's the deal. We raise queens and we think we really are controlling things. We're not. Nah, we're not really controlling that much. We're raising queens on our time. Nature is producing and making all that happen with the genetics and bees. And if you go tinkering with it too much, you can really mess it up. It's just could be a lot of reasons, but I would say if I raise 10 queens, I'm going to be proud of 9 of them. And the 10th one, or the one that I'm not proud of, it's only because I'm really proud of those 9 that makes that last one not look as good as the other 9. But that's the way everything is, right? Dogs from the same litter. Some are cool. Maybe some aren't, It's just nature. Yeah. Hey, Robin, thank you for your donation. 2 weeks ago, I added a frame with queen cells and 1 frame with brood to a 2-frame mating nuke. Well, that's fun. Check today. The queen cells were chewed out, but no queen or eggs yet. What would you suggest? 10 days. Wait 10 days. Sounds like you got a queen. They tore the other cells down. She's mating or trying to get mated. And you're looking and inspecting her when she's out on a date. That's when, so inspect that hive after 5 or 6 at night when they come back. Queens go out on a date in the daytime. They're not nighttime. Hey, Charles, my bees were in a flood this morning. Oh my gosh. Water covered the bottom box, assuming the queen survived. What other things should I be concerned about after the flood? So in flooding, like bees covering the bottom box, the bees will move up as high as they can without drowning, right? What you're going to be looking for is European foul brood potential, because moisture in a hive can cause that bacteria of European foul brood to be an issue. Not always, if it dries out fast, but that's the one thing I'd be looking for. The way to look for that is to look very closely at your larvae and make sure they're pearly white, make sure they're not brown, discolored, twisted in the open cells. That's how you're going to be looking for it, Charles. I think you're going to be okay. All right, Mike. Whoa, a member for a month on my YouTube channel. Thank you. Hi, David. Can I put a second hive right next to my original hive? How do I prevent drift? Yes, you can do it. There's no way to prevent drift. Drift happens. On a windy day like today, the hives at the end or the outside of wherever are going to collect more bees because they're tired of flying. They just land somewhere. Put her down there, Yeah, it's hard to do. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to put them pretty far away to prevent drift. Hey, Gary, I have bees coming and going from swarm traps. Use drawn out frames with some honey on them. Is there any way to tell if there's a swarm or if those are robber bees? Oh, good point. By putting some honey in there, it could be robbing bees going up there. If you got a heavy nectar flow, it's odd for them to go in there and get that, but it's possible. The only way to tell is, go look, open it up and take a peek if you can. That's about the only way. Take one more question, then we'll do spin the wheel. All right, let's have another question tonight. Oh, you guys got some good questions to ask tonight. Oh, Eddie, newbie. Thank you for being a beekeeper, Eddie. A new beekeeper. I know it's overwhelming, isn't it? Did I hear you say to replace your queen yearly? If yes, which month do you recommend to replace your own queen? Eddie, I do, because I raise queens. I have queens. It's easy. There are benefits to that. You have stronger queen mandibular pheromones to help your bees get through the winter and maybe swarm less in the spring. And so I like doing that. I don't always do it, but I don't like to go into year 3 and take a queen into the winter. So it has some benefits to it, but I would say since you're a new beekeeper, if you've got a good queen this year, let's take her through the winter. Don't replace her, but you might think about it next year. And like I said earlier in my teaching, the best time to do it is around summer solstice, around June the 20th or 21st. That's the best time to really make that shift. All right, let's do spin. It's time for
Spin the Wheel.
All right. Well, we got a lot of we got a couple of new things on here. Well, one of them is B Team 6. B Team 6 is a mentorship program that I've had for almost a decade now, where I've been mentoring hundreds of beekeepers across the nation and some across the world. And you have the ability to email me and I get right back to you. Well, maybe not right back. I could be on a live stream, or I could be speaking at a conference, flying on an airplane, or driving a car. Give me a little bit of time, but I try to give you priority on answering your questions when you have beekeeping problems. I send out a weekly newsletter, occasionally a video, and we take a lot of pride, I guess, that's a bad word, in the newsletter to help you know more about bees, and that's exclusive B Team 6 mentorship stuff. So if it lands here today, we'll draw somebody to get a free month of B Team 6. Always, we've got some personal things. The way this works, for those of you that are new to the live stream, if it lands on a personal section tonight, that means that you can ask me, Robbie, Sherry, or Jessica a personal question, and we reserve the right not to answer it. There's a lot of fun stuff, so let's give it a, should we go clockwise or counterclockwise? Let's go this way. Whoa, about tipped her over. Where's it going to land tonight? My team is hoping and praying that it won't land on personal. I can see them perspiring from here. Uh-oh, it's getting close to. Oh, this is a new one. Oh my gosh. This is a viewer spotlight. We've never had this happen before. All right, we're going to spin again. So viewer spotlight, we want to spotlight a viewer tonight. The only way that we can do this is that Robbie has to set up our tool that we can select somebody tonight to spotlight. Okay, so you have to play along. If you're selected, what you have to do is in the comments, tell us some information about you, and we're going to say, you know, oh, look, it fell on Bob, and Bob is from Louisiana. Bob has 5 hives, and Bob, you know, whatever you want to say about yourself. Okay. So right now we're going to go ahead and you leave a comment. If you want to tell something about yourself, I don't want any bank accounts, no personal information. We're not selling anything. You're not buying anything. A fun time for us to get to know you better. That's all this is. Okay. Only tell us stuff that's not real personal, obviously. But if it falls on you, feel free to share fun stuff about you. It helps us get to know you a little bit better. Okay. So if you're comfortable with that, put in the comments, #spotlight, all lowercase. We'll pick somebody and then we'll let you leave another comment about yourself. I think that's how that all's supposed to work. So we'll see how it goes. And while all that's happening, I'm going to take a couple more questions while I'll let you go ahead and put that comment. You just have to put in #spotlight. Okay. And so give me a couple of more questions while we're letting that kind of populate, and I'll answer a couple of more questions in the meantime. How is royal jelly harvested for human consumptions? Royal jelly is produced in bees that are 6 to 12 days old from their hypopharyngeal glands. Let me show you where those are. These are the glands that are located right here. It's a long rope, and it has little kind of like grapes on it. And the royal jelly is produced there and secreted out through the mouth parts of the honeybee. That's where royal jelly is made. And so the way that you harvest it is from queen cells. When they put royal jelly in every queen cell, and as the larvae matures, before it gets too big, you remove the larvae, kill it, and then you scoop out all the royal jelly until you get a whole bunch. You can get little syringes to suck it up in there. Most people freeze it, and that's how that's done. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? All right, let's go ahead. Oh, one more. Okay. Hi, David. Can a hive that swarm do it again the next day? There are some colonies that will do that. That's called an after swarm, and it's usually with a virgin queen. I've had them do that when I was running Russian bees. My Russian bees did that. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead, Robbie, and pick somebody. I want to see how this works. We've never done this before. And we'll pick somebody. Oh, my bad. I'll take that off, Robbie. Stand by. Sorry to mess you up there. I always forget to take that off. So, yeah, let's go ahead and see who might win the spotlight tonight. And that's going to be fun. A lot of times we see you guys, we see your name, but we don't know much about you. Oh, there's quite a few. Okay, let's do it, Robbie. Let's see. All right. Ah, very good. There goes a bunch of names. Oh, let's see who it's going to be tonight. Oh, Cliff. Okay, Cliff. Cliff, leave a comment right now, Cliff, and tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, how many hives you have, where you live. Like, you can put your state down. You don't give us your address, but, tell us some cool stuff about you. What do you do for work? What famous actress or actor do you know? Something cool about yourself. That'd be fun. So I'll have my team keep an eye on your comment, and then I'll take more questions while we're waiting for that comment. I'm making my team work double time now. They got to watch for Cliff's comment. Hey, Joel, I'm from Southwest Kansas. I just got my first package of bees a week ago. They're building wonky comb. How do I fix it? I'm doing an experiment or follow along with one of the packages that we sell. I kept one. I installed it. It's got wonky comb. I didn't wax the foundation. And so what I did, I scraped it off before it got too bad. And one of them was so bad I left it. I didn't want to lose the brood and the little bit of pollen and honey that was in there. I left it. But the best way to prevent that is always to scrape it off if you can, if it's not too bad, and then re-wax that frame and hope they'll pull it out straighter. It's usually because they didn't put enough wax on that foundation. All right. I'll take another question if we haven't heard from Cliff yet. A new beekeeper with 2 nukes, should I keep feeding 1-to-1 during a heavy nectar flow if I'm still trying to draw out comb? If it's a heavy nectar flow, Mike, I'm pretty comfortable not having to feed them unless you get a season of rain that won't let up. Then you're going to be thankful you have a feeder on there. That's the only reason we like to feed. If you have a week-long rainy spell, it could be bad. Yeah. I see somebody said Cliff. Oh, Cliff left the chat. Well, that won't work. Hope we didn't scare him off. All right, let's spin the wheel again. Oh. All right, if it lands back on the viewer spotlight, we won't be doing that this time. All right, here it goes. Oh, and it did land on personal. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it landed on personal. How do we select a personal person? I forget how we do that. So one of us has to, I know how. Robbie spins #personal, and then whoever it lands on gets to choose who they want to ask their question to. It's coming back to me now, okay? So everybody leave #personal, and then whoever it lands on, that person gets to select a person to ask a question of, okay? #personal. There you go. Oh, there's Cliff. Somebody said he left. He's back. All right, Cliff. Good to meet you. Hi, Cliff. We're shaking hands, patting you on the back, buddy. For year 3 for me, beekeeping. The first year I bought a nuke and got a swarm. Both survived the first Michigan winter. Last spring, I made 6 splits. This year, my daughter's getting inspired. She installed her first. Is there another part to that? Her first something. Okay. Well, until we find the rest of that. That's great, Cliff. Good for you up there in Michigan. Michigan winters tough to survive, aren't they? So nice to meet you. Good to know that you're 3 years of beekeeping for you. It's always good to learn more about you guys. Yeah. Cliff Cleveland. All right, that's cool. All right. Oh, there he says she installed her first nuke. It's been fun harvesting a ton of honey. Okay, very good, Cliff. That's good. Well, nice to meet you. That's great. This is a live stream that's personal. We like each other. We hang out together. And as far as I know, this is the largest largest weekly beekeeping live stream in the world. So it's good to have all of you here tonight So that's great. Over 700 of you are joining tonight. So appreciate that. All right, let's do it, Robbie. Hashtag personal for our clock runs out. And boy, the time goes fast. So we'll select somebody from the personal list here. Somebody will be able to ask a question of one of us. All right, Robbie, give her a spin. Let's see how she falls today. So be thinking of a personal question that you want to ask Jessica, Robbie, or Sherry, or myself. Okay, Joe at the Longhorn Apiary. Joe, you get to ask a question. So jump in the chat. Go ahead and write who you want to ask a personal question and ask the personal question of. Okay, ask your personal question. That'd be great. While he's doing that, I'll go ahead and take a few more questions. Oh, time is getting away from us, isn't it? Hey, David. Hi, Anthony. Good to see you. Enjoyed hanging out with you, Anthony, in North Carolina. Is it normal to find drawn comb in a bivouac? Sometimes that bivouac never makes it to a location and they're stranded there. I guess they couldn't decide on a place. And yeah, it is not normal, but it does happen. You'll see comb in trees, you know, that you just don't, bees don't have open comb like that in trees. No, not at all. All right. How do you know it's an old queen if she isn't marked? Yeah, you really can't tell. No way. Not really. I mean, older queens have less hair because it wears off. Older people have less hair. Not always, but I do anyway. But it's hard to tell otherwise. Yeah. Hey, Shannon, my favorite time of the week. Oh, thank you. And thanks for your donation. Thank you for being my guidance through the first year of my beekeeping journey. Well, I count it a privilege, Shannon. And I also think it's awesome that I can be a guide to all of you. You guys are the heroes. I'm just somebody that's guiding you along. So I appreciate that. All right. Did we get a response yet for our personal question? We don't see it yet. Can't move forward unless you come up with it. So put that in there if you can in the comments. Otherwise, we'll have to catch it at a different time. Oh, there he is. Ooh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's Joe, right? He asked the personal question. David, best advice for aggressive defensive hive? I have several. Oh, Joe, you let me off lucky. I thought you were going to ask me what I used to do in my other career. I thought you were going to ask me what shows I like the best. Okay, we'll keep it B. So what I like to do in a defensive colony is make a decision. Can I put up with it? Can I put every suit on the property and duct tape everything, look like I'm in a diver's suit going out there just because they're healthy, make a lot of honey? Can I deal with that? If I can't deal with that, if it's too much, then I have to put that same diving suit on, duct tape myself, and go in after the queen. I separate the boxes. So the first thing I do, Joe, is run out there and I'll put queen excluders between all the boxes. And that's all I do that day. I wait a week. Next week, I go back. I look for eggs. I know the mean queen is in a box surrounded by queen excluders where the eggs are. That's the box I take far away from the mean hive. That reduces the number of aggressive bees on me. And then I have time to find the queen, kill her, introduce a new queen. Yeah. Thanks, Joe. That was good. All right. That's good. Giveaway tonight. We're going to give another quick giveaway. Okay. Before we go, here we go. We're going to be giving away a green drone frame. These are used to trap mites on drone comb. Put these about a couple of frames from the wall, let them draw it out. The queen lays using her front legs. She'll lay non-fertilized eggs, become drone. Mites prefer that. They lay eggs in there. When this frame is about half kept over of drone cells, you're going to take it out and you're going to freeze it for a couple of days, reintroduce it back to the hive, let them clean out the dead drones and the dead mites. A very good IPM non-chemical way to help reduce the number of mites in your hive. Absolutely. So let's give that away tonight. Drone. Yeah, hashtag drone. Don't go anyway. Oh, no, B Team 6 was on here. We didn't get that. I was thinking, okay, that's fine. Green drone comb. Hashtag drone. We'll send you out a green drone comb. Still enough time. Good time to introduce them into your hive. Mites are growing. Hives are growing. And mites reproduce in your hive in your capped over pupae. And so capped over pupae on your drones, drones are less needed except for reproduction. And so that way you can capture mites on this drone frame. This has been used for a long time. I've been promoting this well over a decade or more. And so I like using these. I've made a lot of videos about these. So yeah. All right. Hashtag drone, Robbie. Oh, we want to give 2 away at one time, Sherry, or 2 different drawings? All right. We're going to draw 2 of them. So the first drawing, let's do it, Robbie. Oh, now Sherry says no. 2. Give 2 away in one drawing. Okay, we're giving, so instead of whoever wins this one will win 2. That's what they're telling me now. I need a headset. David, listen, you're not following instructions. I don't need a headset. That would distract me. Okay, so whoever wins this will get 2 green drone combs, 1 for each brood box. They are deep size, so that will help you control mites even better. That's cool. If you want to use one at a time, you can do that. You can have one in the freezer, and you can have one in the hive. That's cool too. All right, Robbie, let her go here for a green drone comb. Makes sense to have 2, really. I'd only put 1 in the top deep. Have 1 in the freezer, 1 in the top deep. Who's going to win the green drone comb tonight? There you go, Carrie. Congratulations. You're the winner of 2 green drone comb mite trapping frames. All right. Email us within 24 hours at beaksquadwinner@gmail.com, Carrie. We'll get those sent right out to you. Wow, that's good. Got time for some more questions? Believe it or not, I'm watching the clock. I'm going to run it down as close as I can. So let's have a couple of more. Any questions I don't answer tonight, I'll answer in the next video or so. Leftover questions. Hi, David. I had 2 hives that were busting with bees. Decided to make a split rather than a box. Honey super's on. Did I make the right choice? Yeah, I think so. If you want more hives, you can make a split. If you do it early enough, it won't really affect your honey that much, though it could, but it's probably a better decision so they don't swarm on you, because if they swarm, it's going to cut down your honey production. Good. That's a good choice. I like it. I think it's a good idea. All right, give me another one. One more. This will be our last question for tonight. One more good question. I believe I just received an unmated queen. She is narrower than the nurse bees and only a millimeter longer. Is it possible that she's mated? Good thing I saved the old queen. It is possible. Here's the deal. Queens get to be really small like that in transit when they're in a cage. I would give her a chance. She's not as pregnant. She's not as full of eggs. The abdomen does expand full of eggs. So I would think it's probably a lack of being fed, and she's just not ready to lay. Because even, yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'd give her a chance. I wouldn't give up on her. Yeah. Guys, I can't believe the time went so fast. I love being here on Thursday night. It has been a hoot. I love talking to you guys. I can't wait to see you at the next conference. I'm going to be speaking in Abilene, Texas, June the 21st. If you're in the Abilene, Texas area, you can join me there. We're going to have a great, I think it's their summer clinic conference. I'm the keynote speaker there. And by the way, I think you just type in Texas Beekeepers Association, type in summer clinic, and they're still taking registrations. Yeah, Texas, just go to Google, type in Texas Beekeepers Association. Keep clicking until you see my face there and sign up and register. Let's do it. Come on. Join me. I don't want to be there by myself. I want to see some of my Beak Squad there. So y'all join me. That's going to be a lot of fun. I want to say hello to the Colorado group that I met with last week. A bunch of journeyman beekeepers. That was a lot of fun. Good interaction there. So I enjoyed that. Always love speaking at your club or conference. Email me if you want me to speak at your place. Okay. I love you guys. You guys are the best. I can't believe what a privilege it is to do what I do, because you make it so fun to help you with your beekeeping questions, help you with all your struggles. I remember what it's like to be new at beekeeping or struggling through questions and not have anybody to talk to answer me, help me out. So I'm here to help you. Got your back. I want to make you a hero in beekeeping. I'm working hard, putting in the sweat for you. So take advantage of all the offers that I give to you guys to get to know your bees better. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.